Hello, welcome to another tutorial. Today, in this video, I'm going to talk about my series in Lockdown browser, the proctoring service that you can do in your exam, and if you have a license or if you have any contract with them. So Lockdown browser is a convenient way to do the proctoring services and also record learners' cameras if you need to review them later, so you can see what kind of actions and activities they are doing, and you can lock their window, the browser, so they cannot go to the other third-party browsers to find out the results of the quiz question. So in my previous videos, I did if you never watched my previous videos about Lockdown browser, I think you should go and watch them. They are just 5-minute, 10 minutes videos. So in the first one of them, I showed how to bring the Lockdown browser over here in this menu where it's blue, and then I showed it the initial settings of that. And in the initial settings, if you're, let's say this is the quiz, right? Chapter 1 and intro quiz. Right now it's not required for Lockdown browser, and it's not required for a webcam recording. So now I want to use this chapter 1 and introduction quiz and make the learners take the quiz via a Lockdown browser and record their cam. So what I want to do is go to settings, and it automatically comes don't require. I want to do this require, and I already covered this part in my previous video. So if you didn't watch it, I highly recommend you go watch it, because I discussed how to do the passwords and how to do the advanced settings and how to enable all of these things. So let's set it aside. In this video, our topic is the monitor webcam settings. Okay, so we have three options: don't require webcam, require webcam, and either Respondus monitor or a Proctor lab can be used to take this exam. These are three options that I have. So let's require, for this chapter 1 exam, let's require Respondus monitor. It brings me to this window, and it explains me a little bit about, what to expect in this section. If this is your first time doing using Lockdown browser webcam for the first time, I think this information is really useful. So you can use this for non-proctored exam, meaning, you can just lock, if you just wanna lock the student's browser but you don't need to proctor them, then you can use only the monitor section. So Respondus monitor uses a webcam to record students' exam sessions and acts as powerful deterrent to cheating, it says, but students still find a way. So you will end up spending a lot of hours looking into videos and trying to understand if they did everything correctly. But also, I think it's useful, like if you are a drama student or a singer or you're playing an instrument. I think this is also good for those kind of exams where you can show your skills on camera, and then you can record them, and then the instructor or the facilitator can evaluate your performance. I think it's not only for cheating, as it says here, but it can be useful to capture these moments, like to show how you play the violin, to show off your skills to sing, right? Although it flags suspicious behavior, I find it's not really doing a good job. So it's a lot of the time it depends on the instructors how many hours they have to spend on these videos and to see if there's anything suspicious. Okay, and if you already know this, you can just say don't show this message again, and you have to continue to Respondus monitor. All right, so this is really important section. So in all the proctoring services, whether you are using RP Now or you're using Lockdown browser, there's the startup sequence that the students need to do, and to make sure that really the expected student is taking the test and the environment is safe and clear to take the test, and there's no problems of academic integrity. So these are the preset settings. So the startup sequence is the set of optional events that occur before a webcam session begins. So these are the things that the student need to complete before they can take the test. And let's see what are they. And some of the things that exist here, instructor can change them. So this is also very convenient because you can write down your department's or your institution's policies. If you have any unique policies, you can develop the pretext here. So first thing I want to say that preview. So if you don't know what is this, if this is your first time, I definitely recommend you to go to previews and see the explanation. And let's see, webcam check. Okay, so preview. So it says the browser does not fully support, and that happens to students as well. So before every test, if you are using Lockdown browser, you want to make sure that you take a practice test before the exam to make sure their browser is the correct browser, their IT operating systems is good, and they have the latest browser version. Okay, so definitely make a practice test and leave it open the whole semester so they can take this before every quiz and exam, and they can solve the issues before the exam. So this is the first one. So webcam check. Additional instructions are, let's see what are they. So during this exam, you shouldn't access other resources. Communicate with others. Please stay in the seat and focus on the computer screen until the exam is complete. If an interruption occurs, briefly explain what happened by speaking directly to your webcam. So they not only need to have a webcam, but they need to have a microphone too. And finally, remember that you cannot exit the exam until all questions are completed and submitted for grading. So the convenient here is this is just the ready text for you. Let's say you want them to do something else. Let's say make sure, you do not eat and drink, right? Also, please do not wear a hat or a hoodie, right? So when you save it, it saves your instructions, which is really convenient because now when you see the instructions, it says make sure you do not eat and drink, and also please do not wear a hat or hoodie. Okay, so whatever is your policy, your course policy, your department policy, your institution policy, you can put it here and it saves. That's a very good feature, and it's flexible, and you can give every detail here. And those details the students will be able to see before the test. Remember, this is the initial startup sequence that the students need to complete before taking the test. And student photo, so they need to make sure that they take a picture. I don't want to allow the camera to see me right now, so I'm not allowing it, but they will have the student photo here. And that's also convenient because if your institution has a photo library for students, right, you can then match this picture with the picture on the database of the school or institution, so you can understand if this is the same student, right? So that's why they are required to take a picture of themselves and record it. And as instructions, you want to make sure that it really matches with the photo that you have in the institution records. Okay, and this is a big I want to make another video what are potential problems when giving and using Lockdown browser for exams and quizzes, but right here I want to tell you that there's a lot of problems here. Sometimes the pictures are not good, sometimes there's bad lighting, and sometimes they don't have a photo in the database of the institution. So that's a problematic area that you need to talk and communicate with your students before the exam. So show ID, and it will say the same. So this will open up the camera, right, and then they will show their ID to their camera, and they have to record them. I'm not allowing it right now, so don't allow. But the convenient is edit text. Hold your identification to the camera and select take picture. Only use the type of indicated by your instructor. For example, I also write down here, make sure that it is government issued, right? And make sure to close out the credit card information if they have any. You can do it with a paper or even putting your finger in front of the numbers, right? And you can save them, and now it's verified and it's approved that you can write it. So this is, again, I will make another video on the problems with lockdown browsing and what are some of the things that really takes time for instructors, and this is one of them. So if they show their credit card information, because some of the schools and institutions may have their ID and their credit card in the same card, so when they show it, it really shows the credit card information as well, and the expiration date and things like that. So we definitely don't need them. So this is I also recommend you to communicate this prior to the students taking the test. Okay, let's save it. And environment check. This is also a convenient. So papers, books, phones, whatever, TVs, you don't want your student to have them around in the room also. And it says click start recording and slowly tilt your cam so a brief video can be made of area. If the webcam is built into monitor, just do your best to show surrounding area. Click stop when you finish. So I sometimes write down, make sure to show the doors, right? And above and below the table. This is just a quick, simple tool tip for professors, just to make sure that they show around. And also I write, make sure you cover a 360 angle, right? We want them to show all around the room, and you can save it, and you can put some more tips and your experience, however you want to do, you can tell them. But my recommendation is, whatever you are putting here, communicate them with the students earlier, because if this is the time that, like 1 minute before they're taking the test, if they see a lot of instructions here, they'll be panicked, right? So definitely I'll make another video about the problems and the most concerns about students, and why are they stressed with proctoring, why professors are stressed with the proctoring services, just like lockdown browser. And hopefully that video will help you a lot in your planning of proctored exams. All right, so let's close out this one. We can. So startup sequence, I think everybody understood how is it happening and what are some of the impacts. Let's go down to facial detection. So during the exam, the camera is recording students' faces and actions, and also the voice and sound in the environment. So you can prevent students from starting the exam if face cannot be detected during the startup sequence, right? So this happens sometimes if the door is really very dark, or if there's a lightning in the back. So it prevents AI, the artificial intelligence software, to recognize the student's face. So when you click this, until the problem is fixed, if it's lightning, if they turn off the light, or if it's very dark, they should find some light source, or change to the place of the light, the floor lamp or whatever, and then the exam will let them do the exam, take the exam. And I always check this, and this one notifies the student. If you check this, it notifies the students during the exam if face cannot be detected. Okay, so for example, in the startup sequence it was good, it was detected, but during the test, a new source of light came up or something happened, and the software cannot now detect the face of the learner. Then it prompts the student when they are taking the test, to correct this problem of lightening. But I always uncheck it, because if they are already stressed out with questions and exam and answers and the timing and all of these things. So when you click this, it pops up really frequently if the problem is not fixed, and it really distracts my students, and I don't want that to happen. So what I do, I uncheck this. If there is a problem of light during the test, if it's not affecting any academic integrity, it's okay. I don't really need it. Okay, so I recommend checking this, but unchecking this, because it really distracts my students. Right, they are already stressed out, so I don't want to put them more burden on their shoulders. And the last thing I want to show is advanced settings. You can allow another application to use the microphone during the exam. Okay, and you can read article on that, what this says. Allow another application to use the microphone during the exam means that if you want them to record a song, or you want them to record their voices with another electronics, like an iPad, smartphone or something, or any other microphone, then you can check this. I never use this. I don't check it. I uncheck it. Make webcam videos additionally available for viewing on mobile devices. This is for professors and facilitators. If you are traveling, and if you are not stable in your house, then you want to review the recordings on the mobile devices, like tablets and iPads and stuff like that, then you want to check them. Okay, I highly recommend that. If you need to review it from iPad and mobile devices, then you want to check this one. Okay, if you don't check this, it's not really oriented to mobile devices, but rather they are most suitable for computers. And always, as I always say, whatever we do, we want to save it. Okay, when we save it, then the exam is ready for students to take. And you can see, where's chapter 1? Chapter 1 is required for Lockdown browser, and it's also required to record the cameras. I hope this is really helpful. It got a little bit longer than I expected, but I hope it's helpful. Please like and subscribe, and expect more video. If you comment any questions about the Lockdown browser, I made a few videos about them. Please comment below, and I'll get back to you. Please like and subscribe so more users can learn about it. Thank you so much for being with us today, and I want to see you in another video. Bye bye.